Welcome to the session. Today I am explaining you about the first PUC syllabus with the continuation of biological classification. In the previous class I dealt the plant kingdom. So the plant kingdom, what you have been studied included algae and the top, the fungi, and then algae, protista, mycota, and then the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, like that. So under the plant kingdom or the plantae, you have been studied so far from algae to plantae. The only one which is left under Whittaker classification is animal kingdom. Before enter into the animal kingdom, let us know about the plant cycles with alternation of generation. Remember, what do you mean by the alternation of generation? In animals, the alternation of generation includes or covers asexual reproduction with that of the sexual reproduction, like that. If at all asexual reproduction alternates with the sexual reproduction and vice versa, then it is called alternation of generation or metagenesis in case of the animal kingdom. Whereas in the plant kingdom, the alternation of generation covers the sporophytic generation with that of the gametophytic generation. The sporophyte is the diploid and gametophyte is haploid. So gametophyte includes the haploid cells, whereas sporophyte includes diploid cells. Both these cells multiply by what are known as an equational division called the mitosis. Whenever there is said to be the gametophyte, which is an haploid one or haploid phase, this by mitosis give rise to what? Haploid gametes. The two male and female gametes fuse together forming a diploid cell by name zygote. The zygote, by keep on dividing by mitosis, give rise to a diploid phase by name sporophyte. This sporophyte by meiotic division, which is a reductional division, thereby the chromosomal number become half or get reduced to half of its the diploid number. Suppose the parental cell contains 16 chromosomes, the resultant daughter cells will get only 8 chromosomes, because meiosis is a reductional division. As the result of it, the diploid cell becomes what? An haploid one. So sporophyte by meiosis give rise to haploid spores. These spores germinate and grow. The growth occurs by what? Mitosis, and ultimately give rise to an haploid phase by name gametophyte. So if you observe this one, this flow chart, you can observe there is an alternation of an haploid gametophytic phase with the diploid sporophytic phase, like that. So this is what is known as alternation of generation in the plant kingdom. Now, let us know the type of the life cycles in plant kingdom or plantae. There are three types of the plant cycles. Let us take up one by one. Haplontic life cycle. The term itself indicates that here the haploid phase is what? Dominant, photosynthetic, and then independent the phase. Which is then haploid the phase? Haploid phase is what? Nothing but the gametophyte. So that means to say here the gametophytic phase is dominant, photosynthetic and independent, whereas the sporophytic phase is very shorter and is represented by a one-celled zygote. So thereby the sporophytic phase is very shorter and represented by one-celled zygote which is diploid, whereas the gametophytic phase is dominant, photosynthetic and is independent, whereas the sporophyte here depends on what? The gametophyte. It is represented only by one cell, that is zygote, which is diploid. Where do you come across this haplontic life cycle where the haploid gametophytic phase is dominant? Typical examples are algae, which include Valvax and even the Spirogyra and even Chlamydomonas, etc. These are the typical examples. Observe here, it is represented schematically. Here there is zygote which is a diploid cell. So this zygote represents what? The sporophytic phase. This zygote by the meiotic division forms what? The haploid spores. These haploid spores germinate and grow by mitotic division, give rise to what? Gametophyte. Then the gametophyte by mitotic division give rise to what? Sporophyte, which is not as dominant as like that of the gametophyte, but still there is a sporophytic phase in the life cycle of these algae. Hence, the dominant phase is gametophyte, hence it is called as the haplontic life cycle. This is the one. The second is diplontic life cycle. Here the term itself indicates that the dominant phase is what? Sporophyte, which is diploid. It is dominant, photosynthetic and then independent. This is the dominant phase in these plants. Whereas the gametophytic phase is represented by few to multicelled haploid gametophyte. So here, if you take the plant like that of a coconut or any tree or any angiosperm or gymnosperm like that, the entire body, almost entire body is said to be what? The sporophytic body except the flowers in the angiosperms. Except the flower, the entire plant body is what? The sporophyte. Thereby the sporophytic phase is what? Dominant. Whereas the gametophytic phase is the constricted or it is confined only to the flowers of the plant in case of the angiosperms. In case of gymnosperms, of course, the male and the female cones, that is the sex organs, represent the gametophyte. The rest of the body is what? Sporophyte. Hence, which is the dominant photosynthetic and independent phase in these the plants? It is the sporophyte. Sporophyte is what? Diploid one. Thereby, the life cycle can be referred as diplontic life cycle, wherein the sporophytic generation or sporophytic phase is dominant, photosynthetic and then independent, whether the gametophytic one is represented by only few to multicelled haploid gametophyte. That too particularly confined only to the sexual part of the plant. Now, typical examples are gymnosperms and angiosperms. So, I hope you know already that gymnosperms are what? Naked seeded plant represented by cycas, pinus and needle. Whereas angiosperms are the flowering plants and then closed seeded plants. So, represented by monocots and dicots. So, and then there is an exceptional example from algae. The algae by name Fucus species also show diplontic life cycle, whereas the other algae come under haplontic life cycle. Now lastly, let us know about this haplodiplontic life cycles. Here haplodiplontic life cycles means there is haploid and then the diploid generations. And both of them are what? Multicellular. And here, for example, in bryophytes, what do you mean by bryophytes? So, bryophytes are nothing but the amphibious of plant kingdom. So, these bryophytes, in bryophytes, the dominant phase is what? That is the haploid gametophytic one. So, the dominant photosynthetic and independent phase is what? Gametophyte, which is haploid. Whereas the sporophyte is represented by multicellular body and is short-lived. Remember, it is short-lived and depend upon what? Gametophyte. Of course, the sporophyte which is diploid by meiotic division form spores. The spores in turn germinate, grow and divide by mitotic division, resulting in the formation of what? An haploid gametophyte. So, totally in bryophytes we can say the dominant phase is gametophyte, whereas the sporophyte is very short-lived and is diploid. Whereas in pteridophytes it is quite what? Reverse. So, pteridophytes in the sun nothing but the ferns. Here the dominant photosynthetic and independent phase is sporophyte, which is diploid. Whereas the gametophyte is very short-lived and is haploid. Depend on what? The sporophyte. So, the sporophyte is dominant, whereas the gametophyte is the quite short-lived. So, the example for this, apart from pteridophytes, are the ectocarpus and polysyphonia that come under the algae, that also represents what? Haplodiplontic life cycle, as like that of the bryophytes and the pteridophytes. So, these are the three types of what? Plant life cycles with alternation of generation. Here these three plant life cycles we have been studied so far based upon the gametophytic phase and then sporophytic phase, which is haploid and diploid respectively. Based upon that, if at all the gametophytic phase is dominant, then it is called haplontic one. If at all the sporophytic generation is the dominant, then it is called the diplontic one. Aplontic you find in the algae. Diplontic you find in the gymnosperms and the angiosperms. Haplodiplontic you find in the bryophytes and then the pteridophytes. So this is about the overall what? Plant life cycles and alternation of generation. With this, the plant kingdom or plantae is completed. Now let us take up the next one. Next kingdom is what? The animal kingdom. What do you mean by this animal kingdom and what it includes? Animal kingdom also come under what? Whittaker classification. Remember, Whittaker proposed. So, how many the kingdoms? 5 kingdoms. I hope you know all of them. One was the Monera. Second was the Mycota. The third one was, the second one was Protista. Third one Mycota. Fourth one plant kingdom or plantae. And the fifth one the animal kingdom or animaliae. That is the one. Whereas the plant kingdom, they contain the algae and then bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. All these 5 come under plant kingdom or plantae. Now let us take up the last kingdom of Whittaker classification by name animal kingdom or animalia. So animals differ from that of the plants in mainly 2 aspects. One is the animals keep on moving in search of food. And the second one, they are unable to synthesize their own food as like that of the green plants. Hence, they have to keep on moving in search of food. Now, the animal kingdom includes what? Animals. The animals also have been classified into various groups. What are the bases of classification? Or what are the factors on which the classification is made? Now the bases of classification are 1. Level of organization. Level of organization in the sense whether the body is made of only one cell or many cells or tissues or organ systems like that. That is the level of organization. Then the body symmetry. That means whether the body exhibits any kind of symmetry, if at all the body is cut along in one or more planes like that. The nature of coelom. Coelom is a body cavity found between what and what? Body wall and gut or alimentary canal. Based upon the nature of that coelom, the classification is also made. And then body layers. Body layers in the sense they are nothing but the primary germ layers. That is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm from which tissues and organs are derived or developed. Then the segmentation, that is the repetition of what? Some of the body tissues all along the line of the body. So, and body, on the basis of that, the body is divided into number of units and each unit can be referred as what? A segment. Then lastly, notocard. Based upon the presence or absence of that one, the animals are classified into chordates and non-chordates. If at all notocard is present, so then it is chordate. If notocard is absent, then all of them are non-chordates. We can deal all these in the future class. At present, let us know only about the level of organization. I told you in the beginning that all organisms are composed of cells. Certainly, without cells you cannot expect any life. But the level of organization is different. Say for example, the protozoans, that is amoeba, is made of only one cell, that is unicellular or acellular organism. Whereas the rest are the cellular level, tissue level, organ system level, like that. Cellular level, that means to say here, the body is composed of many cells, that is multicellular, but the cells are not organized into tissues. Such a level can be referred as cellular grade of organization or cellular level. The typical example is poriferans, that is sponges. Then tissue level. Here there are many cells which are organized to form some tissues, but the tissues are not organized to form what? The organs. So then the condition is called tissue level. Example is coelenterate. So coelenterate, that is Lobelia, Hydra, etc. That is tissue level of organization or tissue grade of organization. Then come the organ level. Here the tissues are organized to form what? Organs. But organs are not organized to form what? Organ system. Such a condition can be referred as what? Organ level grade of organization. The typical example is said to be the platy-elements. Platy-elements include the tapeworm, liver fluid, planaria, etc. Then organ system level of organization. Here the organs are organized to form the definite organ system. So this organ system level of organization can be seen right from ask elements up to chordates. Ask elements includes the nematodes or the roundworms, like that. Right from ask elements up to chordates, all are with what? Organ system level of organization. Say for example, the digestive system, which include the various parts like that of the mouth, buccal cavity, the pharynx, esophagus, stomach, the small intestine, large intestine, ended up with what? The anus. And sometimes the digestive, we cannot say the digestive system, but in some, the system composed of only one opening, that is said to be the mouth, that is the incomplete digestive system. The complete digestive system, in the sense, it should be start with mouth and ended up with anus. And the another one is circulatory system, which includes what? The circulation of the blood throughout the body. The blood circulation is of two types, open type and closed type. Open type in the sense the blood doesn't flow within definite blood vessels. It is found to be filled in some blood spaces called sinuses. as the result of which the body cells are bathed in what? The blood. The example is arthropods and even molluscs. Whereas the closed type of the circulatory system means blood flows within definite blood vessels, as in higher forms like that of the chordates. That is the level of organization, which is one of the basic factors for the classification of the animals. There are other various factors for the animal classification that can be taken into consideration in the next class. Thank you, one and all.